We're coming to you live at the Hill in Pocketsville Highlands, Harare, the capital city. I am Liam Bernard with Susan Masona interpreting the bulletin in sign language.
And I'm Tariro Manameke with Marilyn Gwenya at our Montrose studios. We're also live streaming on our Facebook page. That's at ZBC News Online. But for now, let's take a look at the leading headlines tonight.
Indeed.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa rallies the nation to protect wetlands as the nation marks World Wetlands Day.
An all-female barbershop in Bulawayo.
Yeah, interesting. So we'll hear how the ladies are breaking stereotypes and all this and that feature.
And buzzing in a Sunbiz tonight, Zimbabwe's dairy sector raw milk production increases from 115 million litres against an annual required of 130 million litres.
And in sports buzz, Mighty Warriors begin preparations for the 2026 WAFCON qualifiers against Angola. Those were our headlines, but for now, let's give you the news in detail. Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa rallies the nation to protect wetlands as the nation marks World Wetlands Day. We get more information in the next report.
In a statement to mark World Wetlands Day, President Mnangagwa reiterated government's commitment to protecting wetlands, which are essential ecosystems. He said wetlands are natural resources which are foundational to a shared future. The head of state has rallied the nation to converge in protecting and restoring wetlands for future generations. In 2022, the government of Zimbabwe launched the National Wetlands Policy and Wetlands Management Guidelines to promote the protection of the country's wetlands to sustain their ecological and socio-economic functions. World Wetlands Day is celebrated each year on the 2nd of February to rally the globe towards protection of these vital ecosystems.
And now, meanwhile, rural communities are leveraging on wetlands to power their productivity and sustain livelihoods. This comes as a result of the effective implementation of the Zimbabwe National Wetlands Policy and Wetlands Management Guidelines.
The rehabilitation of wetlands is assisting to build a resilience against climate change in rural communities, providing an essential source of livelihood for thousands of families. Smallholder farming ventures such as the Kasivo Garden in Wange is one among many examples where communities are benefiting from the sustainable use of natural ecosystems. Newton Murimbika from Makonde area looks at the protection of wetlands as an essential component to the survival of humanity. This is a sentiment shared by many within this community.
Even tine miti, this environment yatiri ino inodana kuti mvura saka wetlands akatikoshera kuti timachengete.
Environmental protection and resilience is one of the priority areas under the Second Republic, with government implementing the Zimbabwe National Wetlands Policy and Wetlands Management Guidelines of 2022.
World Wetland Day on the 2nd February is a very, very important day for the planet because wetlands are threatened worldwide at all levels, from the source to the down to the ocean, and this gives an opportunity to governments and citizens to raise their voices to protect the wetlands because we need water on the planet.
Call to action by President Emmerson Mnangagwa for enhanced protection of wetlands strengthens the country's efforts in protecting its natural resources. To date, over 300,000 hectares of wetlands have been rehabilitated, according to the Environmental Management Agency, EMA.
These are ecosystems that can actually help us in the fight against the triple planetary crisis of pollution, of climate change, of biodiversity loss. And therefore, as we get to the 2nd of February, and specifically in 2025, where we are commemorating this day under the broader theme, protecting wetlands for our common future, a theme that is actually projecting towards the future.
The restoration of wetlands has been a critical resilience tool for communities, important for poverty reduction and livelihood security in the face of climate change. Theophilus Chuma, ZBC News, Harare.
The government has reaffirmed its commitment to raising national and global awareness, as well as to encourage actions to conserve and restore wetlands. This comes as Zimbabwe is billed to host the 15th Conference of Contracting Parties, COP15, to the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands in Victoria Falls from the 23rd to the 31st of July this year.
With the world set to descend on Zimbabwe for the 15th Conference of Contracting Parties, COP15, to the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands in the resort city of Victoria Falls, their significance can never be overemphasized. Wetlands serve as natural sponges, absorbing excess water during floods and releasing it slowly during dry periods, thereby helping mitigate the impact of climate change-induced disasters. Environment, Climate and Wildlife Minister Dr. Stembiso Nyoni highlighted the significance of Zimbabwe as a host based on the tremendous work the country has done on wetlands conservation.
The significance of COP15 extends beyond the dialogue. It represents a global platform for hosting international cooperation and innovation on wetland conservation.
Dr. Nyoni also reiterated government's commitment to the protection and sustainable utilization of wetlands by putting in place robust strategies as included in the National Development Strategy 1 to halt and reverse their loss and restore ecosystem goods.
This year, we are commemorating World Wetlands Day under the theme Protecting Wetlands for a Common Future, highlighting the urgent need for decisive action to safeguard these valuable natural habitats. This theme emphasizes the importance of collective responsibility in preserving wetlands, not only for the current population, but also for future generations.
Government has since mapped all wetlands in the country, with the National Wetlands Policy and Wetlands Management Guidelines having been launched in 2022. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News, Harare.
And our Vice President, General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, says the deep-rooted connection with the Catholic Church in his early stages of life motivates his service to the nation.
Vice President General Retired Dr. Constantino Chiwenga was inducted into the Roman Catholic Guilds at the Catholic Church of the Immaculate Conception at the House of Nazareth in Harare this Sunday. Accompanied by his wife, Kenel Miniotawo Chiwenga, and children, the development marks a milestone in his life of faith. Speaking to journalists after the ceremony, Vice President Chiwenga said the church plays a key role in molding the family institution, peace, national cohesion, and unity, which are key components for national development.
You know, I started serving Mass way back in 1965. 66, and that time the church was still doing what was called the Kadata, which was Mass done in Latin, even if we understood very little of what was being said. But from there, I remained a Catholic. When I went to war, 73, I never stopped my Catholic. And I went with my rosary and I came back with it.
The guild system in the Catholic Church encourages members to deepen their faith through prayer and education while building fellowship among parishioners. The event was presided over by St. Gerard Parish Priest, Father Mark Chikuni. Bruce Chawanda, ZBC News, Harare.
The country's education sector continues on a positive transformative growth, riding on various programs that include infrastructural development and revision of the education curriculum.
In a bid to modernize its education system, government is implementing a series of reforms aimed at improving the quality and relevance of an education model fit for 21st century learners. To date, government has pushed for the development of a schools financing policy to unlock revenue for the development of the education sector. Construction of schools through public-private partnerships and the review of the education curriculum have also been prioritized. Educationists believe these initiatives are part of a broader strategy to equip students with the skills necessary to thrive in a rapidly evolving global landscape.
Education is capital investment that must have its own dividend. So when we are in education, we would want to see that dividend. And the dividend is the pass rate, which will lead students to tertiary universities. Our educational system has changed. There's a lot of research. Students are given assignments to go and write at home. They are given topics to research. And even about the major problems of the topic. A lot of tertiaries have been opened up by our government. By us also independent players, we have opened a lot of tertiaries.
Meanwhile, stakeholders in the education sector are optimistic the revision of the education curriculum is a transformative approach that only preserves cultural identities but also enhances student engagement and academic performance.
This heritage-based curriculum is a hands-on approach to the children, as it were, whereby they are putting now theory into practice. We are giving them some tasks to go and research. They come up with ideas that they want to put into practice as a hands-on approach.
The new curriculum is going to restrict those who do many subjects, right? You're supposed to have 5 compulsory subjects and you have 3 subjects that you're going to choose on. We need our learners to focus on projects, right, so that you can actually get the details about the subject area that you are doing. The projects have replaced the colors. You're going to be researching more on this about our heritage, right? To understand if it's in geography, you have to study more, get into the requirements for mining. You go into urban planning, you're supposed to be doing the drawings, right? So that the subjects are relevant to the future.
As government continues to roll out its education reform agenda, it remains focused on ensuring that Zimbabwe's education system meets the needs of modern learners and contributes to the nation's development and human capital development. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
A call has been made for ZANU PF members to uphold discipline in line with the party statutes, with provincial chairperson and deputies being given disciplinary powers. That report next.
Addressing ruling party leadership at an inter-district meeting convened in Shamba this Saturday, ZANU PF National Political Commissar Comrade Mnyaradzi Machacha called for members to observe discipline.
Takaita msangano nemusi wemande zvondorapfuura iri waicheiwa national chairman Mai Muchinguri, tikakurukura pamusoro pemamiriro akaita zvinhu musangano, kunyanyanyanya tichitarisa indiscipline yavamo mumusangano medu weZANU PF. Nyaya dzokutukana mumasocial media platform, nyaya dzokutukirira vakuru. Saka musangano iwoyo wakapa simba kumachairman kudisciplina munhu anenge achiramba achiita munyonga mumusangano.
Comrade Machacha updated leaders on the binding resolutions made at the National People's Conference last year, recommending President Emmerson Mnangagwa to continue in office until 2030.
Takatenderana pakapiwa chitsidzo chokuti parliament iproceed to implement resolution number 1. Saka hakuchisina reverse gear. Kana wanga usingazvidi, waifanirwa kuzvitaura conference, waifanirwa kuzvitaura pa PCC, waifanirwa kuzvitaura pa DCC reshamva. Kana wakapotsa mukana iwo sore hako tatove pa implementation.
ZANU PF Mashanani Central Province Chairperson Comrade Kazembe recapped the number 1 resolution for party members that did not attend the conference.
Resolution number 1 yanga iri imwe chete yokuti chi maringe nebasa rikutora president rataona pa 7 years zaitika idzi 7 years basa ravaita pa ground, madams ari kuvakwa, nzara kudzingwa kwairi kuitwa, marodzi ari kugadzirwa, makambani ari kuvhura. Vanhu vakatadita siya zvakadaro zvimboenderera mberi.
A call was made for the province to not only focus on political issues but place a strong emphasis on development this year to increase the provincial contribution to the national fiscus. Sapiwa Machemedze, ZBC News, Shamba.
The government has rallied local authorities to fully embrace national economic blueprints to improve service delivery and contribute towards the attainment of Vision 2030.
With issues of service delivery and rural development taking center stage, the Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honorable Daniel Garwe, met with Chipinge councillors from both the Urban and Rural District Council, expressing satisfaction with utilization of devolution funds. Minister Garwe commended the two local authorities for meeting the master plan submission deadline, describing 2025 as a year of action.
National Development Strategy 1 yakapeterwa muna December. Iko zvino taakugadzirisa taakukwenenzvera nyaya yeNational Development Strategy 2 inobva yatisvitsa mugore ra2030. Taakupinda mu-call to action 2. Call to action 2 iri kutaura nyaya ye-implementation. Kuti taakuimplementa here zviri kutaurwa master plans, taakuimplementa here zviri kuma-valuation roles. President vari kuti nekuti nyika yedu haina ivhu resera tinoda, hatigone kuramba tichingopedza tichivaka tichingoenda ngativakei tichienda mudenga.
Honorable Gagwe implored the councillors to fully support Vision 2030, adding that the call to extend the president's term in office is economically motivated.
Vamunangagwa vakapinda muofisi. Vapinda muofisi havana kutanganya kuti ndakutungamirira. Vakataura kuti the voice of the people is the voice of God. The voice of the people was heard through people getting into the streets and demonstrating. That was the voice of the people. Nasu uno, the voice have come back again. That time the voice came to the people through Vamunangagwa. This time the voice is coming to the president Vamunangagwa through the people. The people have seen the good work that the president is doing and continue to do. And said, let's tell him kuti Vamunangagwa teedzera zviri muhope torai nyika kusvika nayo mugore ra2030.
The Chipinge leadership pledged to fully implement government development policies.
Toda kutenda chikamu chavakurukura kana tichavaparura chekuti kana tichivaka sema local authorities tisasavaka tichirebesa nzvimbo asi kuti tivake tichikwidza kumusoro.
The NDS 2 ndiyo tatomirira kuita embrace ngaitouya nekuongedza kwayo kwakanaka. Tiri kutokumirira we are geared to implement call to action NDS 2.
In 2023, President Mnangagwa launched the call to action no compromise to service delivery blueprint to improve the operational efficiency of local authorities towards attainment of Vision 2030. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Chipinge.
Over 7,000 youths in Mashonaland West Province are set to benefit from the Monomotapa housing scheme in Karoi as government scales up the youth empowerment agenda towards Vision 2030.
Recent statistics indicate that at least 62% of the country's population is below the age of 25. With this in mind, the Second Republic is making strides towards youth empowerment and resources capacitation. More than 7,000 youths from across Mashonaland West Province are set to benefit residential stands and title deeds under the Monomotapa Youth Housing Scheme. At least 800 youths are also set to receive 10-hectare plots, placing young people at the forefront of the national development trajectory. Two of the beneficiaries, Simon Zibaiwa and Ivan Matanga, who received their title deeds, are grateful to government for rolling out an inclusive agenda.
Tatobata mofalita edu se youth. Tirikuona kuti urongwa hwavo huri kuenderana nevision 2030. Ezvino vari kukurudzira futi kuti kune maresidential stands ari kuda kunge achibuda futi achipuwa vana.
Vaitwa land reform program. Isusu mayuth asati akura atakwanisa kuona mukana kuwana minda.
but kufikizana kuti utungamiri wavo takwanisa kuona ma-farms ma-A2.
ZANU PF Mashonaland West Youth Chairperson Comrade Tapiwa Masenda is upbeat the program addresses the economic gap faced by young people.
We are now at a phase of launching Monomotapa housing scheme yatuno launchera Karoi, the Chambatunge farm, where it's going to produce close to 7,000 stands. Acha pure my youth edu National West Province Munom, and we are cascading this to districts.
Meanwhile, Comrade Masenda said the Youth League remains committed towards implementation of party resolutions and dismissed disgruntled members who are fanning division in the party.
Our position as the Youth League is very clear. We are fully behind His Excellency President Emerson Mnangagwa. Nokuti tagenda kubulawa yotiketa ma resolutions edu, and resolution number 1 is a resolution that we all stick with. We don't mind about this disgruntled cadres who lost primary elections. We stand and we are fully behind the president as National West Province Youth League.
The Second Republic is prioritizing youth empowerment with programs such as the Presidential Heifer Pass-On Scheme also being extended to young people across the country. Tamuka Charakupa, ZBC News, Chinoi.
2 bogus cops who committed a spate of robberies in Bindura and surrounding areas will serve an effective 40-year jail term each after they were convicted of armed robbery. And we get the details in the upcoming report.
The 2, John Jaji, aged 40, and Ian Njanji, aged 26, who spent the next 40 years locked up after they were found guilty of 5 counts of armed robbery. The jail would pose as police officers to gain entry into premises where they store cash, electronic gadgets, and other valuables. In passing sentence, the magistrate noted that the jail deserved to be locked up as they are a threat to society, adding that a lengthy custodial sentence would send a clear message to would-be offenders. In one incident, they assaulted a family, tied them up and ransacked their home, making off with 1,712 United States dollars cash and several other valuables. Their crimes included violence, intimidation, and unlawful possession of firearms. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
And now for more news, you can also follow our social media handles. We are on X, YouTube, as well as Facebook. We're streaming live on our Facebook page. That's ZBC News Online. And we're going to go through those important comments where you take time to interact with us whilst we are streaming live. Terry?
Yeah, so I'm just going to start with the people who are saying we are here, and thank you very much for watching. We've got Stephen Gwanda, My Bubbles, Anna Dube saying good evening, Zimbabwe, enjoying the Sunday edition. I'm sure you've got more.
Absolutely. We have Matthew Dana, Dixon Majia. Did you mention Dixon? Seems to be one of our familiar followers there on Facebook. And Angelica Muchena, thank you so much for taking part on our Facebook page. And now from Harare, it's time for us to cross over to our Montrose studios where Marilyn Gwenya is on standby to take us on. Marilyn, it is a beautiful evening and it's over to you.
Good evening, and it is a good evening to you, ladies, Leanne and Tyra, and of course the viewers at home, as well as those who are watching online on our Facebook page at ZBC News Online. And now we continue with our bulletin, where government's climate-proof Fumvuza Intwasa program has become a game changer as communal farmers target a bumper harvest, propelling communities towards food security.
Farmers in Pagama area of Matobo district are beaming with hope of a bountiful harvest after embracing the Fumvuza Intwasa climate-proof agriculture concept.
Umumbu esibukhangele sibisibona lonyaka sibili hayi ukudla kukhona. Sizasutha silonyaka hayi suze silambe. Izulu salifuna umumbu nxa usubhacile usunje usufuna izulu. Sikhangela izulu ukuthi line sibili eliningi ukwenzela ukuthi umumbu nalowo uvuthwe. Siyambonga uhulumende uMnangagwa lokho senzele khona. Wasinika intanyelo lokusifundisa amagodi. Siyambonga uhulumende uMnangagwa. Lami nginje nguye ngangimi khona. Uyasincedisa uMnangagwa. Yonke into uhulumende uMnangagwa njani uyasincedisa. Akula into ongasincedisi lo.
Umuthi lo okufafaza ukuthi ubulala ukukhula. But sometimes uyabona ukuthi umuthi wakhona omunye uyabulala i-broad leaf kawubulala utshani, omunye uyabulala utshani kawubulala i-broad leaf.
With most maize crops having reached tasseling stage, government continues to offer technical support, including providing knapsacks and herbicides. With Zimbabwe being an agro-based economy, agriculture has been cited as key in anchoring economic recovery through employment creation, value addition and transformation of livelihoods by guaranteeing food security beginning at household level.
The Second Republic's commitment towards development is bearing fruit in the education sector, with significant strides made in enhancing access to quality learning through the prudent use of devolution funds. The devolution funds being channeled towards social investments are addressing critical needs within communities, with the education sector emerging as a major beneficiary. In Blaiscout Park suburb, Vulindlela Primary School stands as testament to the transformative power of the devolution program.
Kuncede kakhulu ukuthi kube lesikolo khonapha eVulindlela ngoba abantwana sebefunda eduzane abahamba nzima indawo yethu leyi ilama floods kuyachachwa ngamachibi oku dangerous abantwana bethu sebebuya lula kwenza kube lula nje impilo emntwaneni afunde lula. Looking to the future through devolution funds, the school has ambitious plans to construct high-rise classroom blocks, alleviate the strain on resources, and ultimately eliminate hot sitting.
We intend to have an additional 2 blocks, double-story blocks, each one having 8 classes, so that is 16 classes that we anticipate will have, if all goes well, in the future. The field in Umkuza district, the impact of devolution funds is equally profound, bringing education closer to previously marginalized communities. Currently, focus is on enhancing the quality of education through construction of a modern science laboratory.
Montgomery siqalise from scratch in 2016. Sayiqeda. So sakhangela ukuthi o form 4 labo form 5 labo form 6 nxa kungala science lab bayahamba bedinga izindawo out of Umkuza.
The success of devolution projects is a testament to government's unwavering commitment to investing in social sectors such as education.
What we're trying to do now as government is to ensure that we release more funding so that these projects can be finished. As Presidential Affairs and Devolution and also the President Cabinet, we are very keen to see projects which have got high impact. Devolution funds are specifically for social infrastructure. We cover education, we cover healthcare, roads and other services leading to those areas. And apart from that as well, we've tried to make an emphasis on healthcare facilities in terms of making mothers who are walking long distances not being able to reach facilities.
Various projects are underway across the country addressing critical infrastructure gaps and improving livelihoods in line with Zimbabwe's developmental goals and Vision 2030. Yolanda Moy, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
Councillors from across Chedza district were capacitated with motorcycles this Friday as part of government initiatives to improve efficiency in line with the call to action to Blueprint.
42 councillors received motorcycles from government to improve service delivery in Chedza district. The councillors praised the program, noting the move will ensure efficiency in service delivery.
Tinofara zvikuru nechipo chatapiwa chemamotabus chatibatsirawo kusvikirira nzvimbo dzatinoshandira dzakareba chaizvo.
Ndoona zvaakunyoreka kuti tiite service delivery kuvanhu vandinotungamirira muwadi.
PR takadivaidwa mawadi, each PR ane 3 mawards kutravela kubva kwati kwatogara kuenda kune mamwe mawards kuresa ende tatisina chokufambisa.
After handing over the motorcycles, the Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honorable Daniel Garwe, also commissioned the capital equipment which included a motorized grader and a bore sinking rig, which were procured using devolution funds.
President vakakutengerai zvikwanisiro mushure mekunge mugore ra23 muna December vaparura chirongwa cheservice delivery chavakati call to action, no compromise to service delivery.
The devolution program is part of government's deliberate efforts to ensure service delivery reaches the grassroots level.
Let me take this opportunity to thank His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. A.D. Mnangagwa, for ably implementing the devolution agenda, which has seen our local authorities being able to attend to our challenges regularly.
Minister Garwe and Minister Chedza also toured one of Chedza Rural District Council's key infrastructure development projects, the Buffalo Range SMEs complex, which is under construction. The complex, which is being constructed under a public-private partnership between Zimbabwe Chamber of SMEs and the Chedza Rural District Council, is set to provide working space for close to 100 small to medium enterprises. Gaima Tambo, ZBC News, Chedza.
Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education has introduced the Ndau language in schools as part of efforts to ensure all the country's official languages are included in the education curriculum.
The drive by the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education to harness national languages is gaining traction, with Ndau being the latest to be taught in schools. The Ndau community believes the introduction of their language in schools will preserve their cultural identity and allow learners to develop effective cognitive and conceptual qualities.
Inini ndakadakara maningi ndazozwa kuti chindau chakudzidziswa muzvikora. Nguwa taifunda taitambudzika rekutenda ngoti chindau chakudzidziswa kuzvikora kubva kuma ECD.
Vana vedu vaifoira vakabvunzwa mubvunzo na ticha vaipindura nechindau, waichekwa mwana wedu kuti washaishe kupindura.
Taitonesekawo nesu tichafunda kuti tinyore, wonyora unozwi kwainyora zvakadai ukanyora ngechindau.
The subject has been introduced in more than 45 primary schools, and one of the school heads highlights the progress made so far.
We have managed to purchase enough textbooks, that is from ECDA up to grade 2. My teachers are some effort to schema tanga kuti vatanga kuvadzidzisa, because my introduction payakaitwa zvainzi izvo my current ECDB, by the time they reach grade 7, the first group to sit for this language.
The Deputy Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honorable Angeline Gata, who visited the schools in her constituency donating textbooks, implored the local community and publishers to rally behind the new development that should see all the 16 official languages being taught in schools.
Munyika yedu yeZimbabwe tine mitauro 16 dziri official ma-indigenous languages. Chekutanga tine policy mutemo, bumbiro remutemo rinoti vana ve-ECDA ne-ECDB vanofanirwa kudzidziswa muririmi rwamai, kutanga ngerurimi rwamai. Tine about 5 languages. Shona, Shona chaiyo, it's our indigenous, inonyorwa examination. Saka tine 5. Ndebele, netonga, nechewa, nechangani. Iwaya akutonyorwa ma main exams. Saka tinotarisira kuti nekufamba kwenguva ese ari 16 vana vanenge vakukwanisa kumanyora ma exams. Asi takatarisana nendau, chindau chedu chinotoda collective effort. Vanokwanisa kunyora mabhuku acho vachinyora, asi drive inotofanirwa kunga ichitobva kune isusu mandau.
Efforts are also being made towards introducing other local languages in line with government policy. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Chipinge.
Monomotapa, sometimes referred to as Monomotapa, was an African king whose influence expanded to what is now modern-day Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Botswana, Malawi, and Zambia. In our I'm an African feature for this week, we look at this intriguing ruler.
The Shona royal title, Monomotapa or Monomotapa, was derived from a combination of two words, Mwene or Munu, meaning man, and Motapa, meaning conqueror. Founded by the Nembira family, the state emerged under Nyatsimba Mtota, the first king who gained control of the surrounding gold-producing regions and much of the Zambezi River Valley. Mambo Mtota established a new capital at Songombe near the Zambezi River. Mtota established his dynasty and went on vigorous campaigns to expand the newly founded Mutapa Empire. For several centuries, Monomotapa enabled people across a large territory to live in peace and security under a stable environment. He was well known for economic, political, and religious development in pre-colonial Africa. Monomotapa was an example of a working system of government in Africa, of a flourishing civilization, both of which are often assumed to have been absent before the coming of Europeans. The king united a number of different people in southern Africa by building strong, well-trained armies and encouraging states to join voluntarily, offering membership in the Great Council of the Empire to anyone who joined without resistance. By the time the Portuguese arrived at the coast of Mozambique, Monomotapa had established a kingdom that was the premier state in the region. The king had raised a strong army which conquered the Ande area of the Tonga and Tavaram. Gold from the empire inspired the Europeans to believe that Monomotapa held the legendary mines of King Solomon, referred to in the Bible as the biblical pot of Ophir. The belief that the mines were inside the Monomotapa's kingdom in southern Africa was one of the factors that led to the Portuguese exploration of the hinterland of Sofala in the 16th century, and this contributed to early development of Mozambique. Monomotapa maintained a position of strength, exacting a subsidy from each captain of Portuguese Mozambique that took the office. Monomotapa also levied a duty of 50% on all trade goods imported. The king proved invulnerable to attack and economic manipulation due to his strong control over gold production. At the climax of his rule, his empire included the entire Zambezi River Valley, modern-day Angola, Zambia, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe, from Zumbo in what is now north-central Mozambique to the Indian Ocean. Monomotapa died in 1759, sparking yet another civil war for the throne. This one was more destructive than its predecessors, and Mutapa state never recovered. Monomotapa is a tangible inspirational reference of valor and sophisticated social, political, and economic organization of Africa.
And that's it for myself, Marilyn Gwenya, and the Montrose crew for tonight. Sunday edition is off to a break. We will be back with Leanne and Tariro from our Pocket Hill studios in Harare with more.
Stroke of genius! Introduce the stroke of genius. Oh, Zimbabwe yakuzosumuka manje. Stroke of genius andiri kureva chera. President E.D. Mnangagwa vari kupa mabankable, registrable and transferable title deeds na every farmer akapuwa munda pa land reform program. Takanga takapuwa minda asi takanga tisina simba rekupinda mumabhengi semama mumabusiness kuti tipewo maloni akachipa tatakuwara nezvimbazo man. Zvino nestroke of genius yekupuwa matitle deeds tikupinduka mubhengi sevamwe totopuwa maloni takutodevelopa mafamu.
Saka kuduza kuti land ese yacho nevalue.
Ende ukapuwa title deed iroro chiyera. Mundu wako uchatoreki atova nhaka yevazukuru nevazukuru. Ndo zvinoda fama manje izvozvo. Security of tenure.
Iwe pandiri panapa ndakutokwanisa kutopa vana nhaka kuti chidimu chako ichi chemunda chidimu chako ichi.
Exactly.
Zvichifambiswa sei?
President E.D. Mnangagwa igenius manje. Vakabva vati kuti zvinyatofamba negwara rakatwasanuka zviri transparent. Ndobva vagadza inonzi Land Tenure Implementation Committee iri kushanda nemumapazi ehurumende.
Alright. But you unozviziva iwo kuti kune maland barons akazara ukanopamba minda dzevanhu.
Dai vatoregera zvavo ndiwo kopo usiri kudiwa na president Mnangagwa. Ndio saka land tenure implementation committee yakati ngatishandisei ma ID numbers number dzepachitupa kuti munhu haakwanisi kuva nemafamu maviri plus land tenure iyi committee haisi kupa minda pachayo iri kutwasanudza pakupiwa kwema title deeds.
Alright. Iwe saka zvichida kuti tatu protected kase mavarimi.
Exactly much.
Because
what to stroke of genius here? President Idi apa vasikira vana veZimbabwe upfumi.
Have you heard about Marechera? Hanziko. But he says keeper. They say he has this glow about him now. He doesn't walk. He glides.
I heard he has got people who iron his money.
But have you heard that when he coughs, money just comes out of the blue? Out of the orange.
Hey, yo.
Marechera.
Says Keeper, Zvakuendeka. Introducing the new Mukuru wallet.
Welcome back, and many thanks to Marilyn Gwenya for giving us that part of the bulletin. Taking it up, Nanta, it's the familiar symphony of a barbershop. In our This and That feature tonight, we look at a bustling spot in the heart of Bulawayo, where there's a distinct difference. The maestros wielding the tools of the trade are all women. Let's take a look.
For years, the barbering profession has been predominantly male. But a group of 4 women is proving that skill with the blade knows no gender. Stepping into Santos barbershop is like entering a haven of feminine energy. The air crackles with laughter and friendly chatter, a stark contrast to the often macho atmosphere of traditional barbershops. 4 women, each with their own unique style and personality, are the driving force behind this unique establishment. They are stylists and, most importantly, skilled barbers, transforming hair into works of art. There is Zuma, the shop's senior barber, whose hands move with the practiced precision honed over years of experience.
I was a hairdresser by profession. So, okwenza ukuthi ngihawukele ukugela ukuthi khona ukuluka yathatha more hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours ulokhu umuntu oyi-1, of which imali yangikhona yabonke futhi incane. Bamangala amadoda ukuthi umuntu ongumfazi uyagela njani? Because bona nxa befika lapha nxa befuka uzogela uyabe expect ukuthi ugela umuntu oyindoda kuphela, ungathi uyambamba ikhanda lakhe yathi hayi mina vela ngigelwa ngumuntu ongumfazi, especially abafazi babe sesaba kakhulu babefuna umuntu oyindoda.
Then there's Lina, whose infectious energy fills the room.
Ngathi mfika la ngangakwazi ukubamba khona isigelo even ukwenzani parades sengela ofedi yonke into yabona abantu babefika besethu ukuthi gela unkazana.
Wow. The camaraderie between the women is palpable. They support each other, share tips and techniques, and celebrate each other's success.
Vele singi family vele thina ngokwethu. Ende thina sesifuna ukuthi nxa into siyenza ama clients ephume bahle. Ayikho sesukufuna bephume behappy. And as compute ukuthiwa lo uyakwazi ukwenza so lo uyakwazi ukwenza so thina sesifuna ukuthi client liphume li-clean li-smart lihambe li-happy.
Their work has attracted a lot of attention.
Chinhu chiri unique kuti uone pachigera vanhu vechikadzi. Saka I think chero maclients akawanda ari varume akutouya panapa nekuti vanenge vachida izvozvo zvekuzogerwa nemunhu wechikadzi.
I was not sure because badume ngokweluka, but after experience yami sebengele kabili kathatha umsebenzi bawazi bacecisa sibi.
It actually made me happy because I really support women empowerment.
So even la kuma event amefika kiyo bathi ukuthi hayi style esikhona ukuthi abachuna into yabo bayenza sibili. Ayabacabangeli bayenzisisa sibili.
Hilary, the man behind the concept, explains his vision after noticing the growing demand for skilled barbers and recognized the untapped potential of female talent.
What I'm doing exactly ukuthi empower abantu abangomama, especially abensenzanya empowered bekwanisa labo as time goes on bekwanisa ubana la beqhatshe abanye abantu abangomama, and then iskill isihambe njani all over Zimbabwe. So yikho esizamana sikusukumisa kwakathesi.
The success of the 4 female barbers is a testament to the power of breaking down stereotypes and embracing diversity. It is a reminder that sometimes the best cuts come from the most unexpected places. Hiland Moy, ZBC News, Obulawayo.
We'll definitely be expecting the men in the pedicure section. I'm sure many women will be going for that one. Now, moving on to Sunbiz, Zimbabwe is reaping the fruits of massive investments in the dairy sector as raw milk output increased to over 150 million litres last year against a national annual requirement of 130 million litres.
Official data released at the recent Zimbabwe Association of Dairy Farmers ZADF 2025 strategic meeting shows that raw milk production has increased from over 70 million litres in 2018 to over 115 million litres in the just ended year, compared to at least 90 million litres in 2023. Dairy farmers attribute the growth to government's interventions.
Something that we're constantly working on is animal health, animal welfare and productivity, being as efficient as we can. It's always a challenging thing to do, but as dairy farmers, it's something we need to consistently do. More efficient animals, we have improvements in genetics and finding the right animals for the right places, for hotter areas, for drier areas. The best animals there are slightly different.
We have managed to grow our milk volumes over the years, especially with government interventions. To mention the presidential silage scheme, a lot of farmers now are relying on silage, which was not the norm, that they're now using silage to feed their animals to increase milk production. And government is working very much with the veterinary officers on the ground, the officers through the Department of Livestock, to grow and make sure that milk levels are growing within the small scale sector.
Zimbabwe Association of Dairy Farmers chairperson Mr. Edward Waramba says the upward trajectory has eased milk imports.
The dairy sector in Zimbabwe's future is quite bright. We had just a leap into 150 million litres, so we are looking to be milk self-sufficient maybe next year. Then we jump straight into export. We also want to participate in the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, which is on.
Statistics indicate that the dairy sector has surpassed the National Development Strategy 1 target of a 30,000 head by over 120% to more than 65,000 as of last year. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Stanley James there putting a cap on Sunbiz. Government and its development partners continue to embrace the Value Addition Trust after the establishment of the Sesame processing plant in Rutenga last year, a first for the country. In our SNT feature tonight, our reporter Gay Matambo unpacks the process of involved in sesame oil extraction from sesame seeds. Let's hear more.
Sesame, also known as Beniseed, is a highly sought-after commodity in local and international markets due to its high nutritional value. Smallholder farmers in Mwenezi and Chedza have embraced sesame production, and the establishment of the sesame processing plant at Rutenga Multi-Service Center has come as a step in the right direction towards ensuring that farmers fully benefit from producing the cash crop. Under the Value Addition Trust, the plant is producing sesame oil from sesame seeds, and the Rutenga Multi-Service Center manager, Mr. Sianai Zingwena, takes us through the processes involved in sesame oil extraction.
This is the first process. In here, that's our receiving auger, our receiving chute. This auger feeds. We pour our sesame into this auger system. It feeds up here, bringing it up to the blower. This is the scientific method of cleaning using the winnowing or the blowing system and the sieving, separating the large particles and the smaller particles. We have got the soil and the smaller particles coming out through this chute. Then sesame because it does not fit through the 16 millimeters if that is below. We have Sesame coming out, thus we are receiving Sesame into this. In the second value addition that we do, we come to the color sorter, which is our color sorting machine. It uses artificial intelligence. This machine separates brownish, dark sesame from white sesame. You would see the sesame dropping into the cameras in here. There are cameras now that will identify which one is black, and then because of high pressure, from that compressor that we have got high pressure that will push separating the white from the black. Then the third value addition that we're doing here on sesame is we are expressing oil out of sesame. It is the corkscrew, the auger system that pushes towards the piston. The piston against the ball expresses oil out of sesame. Then from there we have oil coming out of this chute, and we have got the byproduct, which is the cake, coming out from this chute here. Another method of separation is to allow density to work its wonders. So we're giving the density to say oil will separate from the solid. The solid will go down and then the liquid will go up. We have given it about a month to sediment. We now come here, take the sedimented oil, we take it through the filter. We're now producing the final product. So what we're having now is clean, clear, safe to use oil that we have expressed from sesame.
Sesame oil is organic oil rich in unsaturated fatty acids, fat-soluble vitamins, and amino acids. Studies have found that sesame seeds contain 21.9% protein and 61.7% fat. Sesame oil is also believed to have some important health benefits, such as providing heart-healthy fats, combating inflammation, and protecting skin from sun damage. Gay Matambo, ZBC News, Mwenezi.
And on that note, we take a short break, but when we come back, we'll be giving you the sports buzz. Stay tuned.
This Valentine's Day, gift your loved one an experience beyond words. Imagine strolling down the serene Binga Beach with your soulmate, listening to the waves of the lake hitting the shore, or exploring a charming hidden village, witnessing its beauty, experiencing traditional gastronomy, or simply savoring delicious meals in the heart of a bustling city, creating memories every step of the way. Nestled within the rugged heart of nature's splendor, your picnic unfurled upon a rocky outcrop, cradled between the sky and the earth, witnessing breathtaking sunsets together. This Valentine, travel with your special someone, discover new places, make memories, and fall in love all over again. Plan your romantic getaway now and let your heart lead the way. Travel and experience Zimbabwe this Valentine. Zimbabwe, 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 everybody gets a
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. We now give you the Sunday sports news. Now, the Zimbabwe women's national team, the Mighty Warriors, have regrouped ahead of preparations for the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers after a 29-member squad trooped into camp this Sunday.
The Mighty Warriors are set to face regional rivals Angola on the 20th in Luanda before clashing again a week later at the Lucas Moripe Stadium in South Africa. As they gear up, coach Tetelelo Sibanda expressed their satisfaction with the players' commitment and passion. Ziva President Ngobile Magwizi pledged the association's support for the team and rallied behind the Mighty Warriors with all the necessary support to ensure their success. The Mighty Warriors will be looking to win their match against Angola to propel them to the second round, where they will meet the winner of the tie between Malawi and Congo. The ultimate goal is to secure one of the 12 spots available in the final tournament scheduled to take place in Morocco. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
And are still in football, as part of efforts to promote grassroots football development and combat drug and substance abuse, the Young and Great Initiative has launched an under-20 football tournament targeting secondary schools in the capital.
The third edition of the Young and Great campaign will see all secondary schools in Harare taking part in football competitions starting at district level. The competitions are scheduled to kick off on the 25th of February, with the finals set for the 8th of March, featuring boys and girls competitions. The tournament aims to support young people through sports, enabling talent scouting and providing an alternative to drug abuse.
The drugs being a huge issue, specifically here in our nation, affecting not only the children but affecting communities, families. It's been a very devastating effect on our nation, and just empowering young people in combination with fighting drugs and substance abuse is what drove this initiative.
The tournament has received support from the Ministry of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture, which has pledged to provide technical support and resources.
We embrace this initiative, and we're quite grateful to our partners, and I would want to ask them to say their vision resonates quite well with our objectives as NASH, where we focus on talent identification and development, and the aspect they are bringing in of saying no to drugs is quite relevant and applicable to our youth.
The Young and Great Initiative has secured a significant sponsorship deal with Mashwede Holdings, which has come on board as the principal sponsor of the Under-20 football tournament. The tournament will be a permanent feature on the high school's football calendar, with the plans to make it a national school Under-20 tournament in the future. With over 68 secondary schools in Harare committing to participate, the tournament is expected to provide a platform for young players to develop their skills and potentially progress to higher levels of competition. Anna Shemrombedzi, ZBC News, Harare.
Top performers from the Rainbow Amateur Netball League 2024 campaign were this Saturday honoured at a colourful ceremony held at the High Achievers Coach International Academy to celebrate last year's outstanding acts.
Hours after the ushering in of a new executive to be led by Chiwenga, outstanding performers from the Rainbow Amateur Netball League ran yet a night to remember as their exploits were rewarded. The biggest honor went to Floor Angels and Nifaluya, who won the Player of the Year accolade for their impressive showing during last year's campaign. The versatile mid-court player undoubtedly deserved the honor, having had 13 Player of the Match accolades to her name during the 2024 season to prove her worth as one of the best netball players in the country. Not to be outdone was Correctional Queens goal shooter Tafazo Mawango, who was honored with a Golden Glove accolade for finishing as the top point scorer with an impressive 1,802 goals in the calendar year. Also honored is Correctional Queens head coach Naftali Nyangulu, who was voted the coach of the year, taking the gong away from Globe Petroleum's Perpetua Siachitema, who won it in the previous 2 seasons. Other winners include Mtala Netball Club, who won the most disciplined team of the year. Ashley James won the rookie of the year. Pamela Muchena bagged the People's Choice Award, and the Players' Player of the Year went to Amanda Ngobe. Earlier on, an annual general meeting was held where a new executive was elected to run Ranel for the next 4 years after the expiration of the Melody Garikai-led committee's tenure. Chiwenga was elected as the league's new chairperson, while Moses Kukurume was retained as the Secretary General. Others who made it into the executive include Takaona Nansala, who comes in as the Vice Chair, incoming Vice Secretary General Tichava Kakuchena, while Adiola Maponde comes in as the new Treasurer. Committee members for the 4 regions were also elected, with Lina Mpala appointed in the Western region, Lungile Msimanga taking over the Southern region, Yepines Chipatiso will represent the Northern region, while the Central region will be overseen by Patience Mutsikwi. Reinout Ngwarati, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, that's a wrap in Sports Buzz. We jump into the showbiz where music enthusiasts will always find a way to enjoy themselves, despite others lamenting financial constraints associated with the so-called January disease. And now we take a look at some of the shows that kept the revelers entertained this weekend.
As he took to the stage, Babashiro knew exactly what to do to keep his fans on the dance floor. A master of the guitar and a lyrical genius, Alec Macheso made revelers forget their problems for a while with his enchanting performance. One of Zimbabwe's musical legends, Somantla Ndebele, lived up to the task. Reggae lovers had a good time at Sherwood Golf Club in Harare, where a number of artists including Dino Mdondo, Selo Culture and Manex performed. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
It was action galore on this week's Power FM Top 40 chart show, with 7 new entries joining the prestigious show, which ultimately decides the hottest and most popular tracks.
Seven new songs made it on the chart this week, with Panze, a song by Shane and Nyasha Timbe, gaining a spot in the top 10. Some of the new entries include Madedido's Sub-Zero, which claimed 18th position, and Nana by Makadze sitting on position 19. HKD Boss' collaborative efforts with Master H and Nati O, Chawiriri, remained the people's favorite song as it once again retained pole position. Nisha T's Ngangani appears to be struggling on the chart after dropping 27 places to sit on number 38 from 11 last week. Some new songs to look out for include Sebastian Magacha's Muzio or Skid featuring Mr. Tension's Ndiri Badman and Bad Energy by Attenda Chings. Fungai Jachi, ZBC News, Harare.
Well, that brings us to the end of the Sunday edition from us here at Pocket Hill, as well as Montreux Studio, where Marilyn Gwenya joined us. And it's a wrap, Terry. Expecting anything this Valentine's?
Can we just go to the video thing? Well, that's because I don't know. I'm hoping something happens.
Absolutely.
So anyway, as we celebrate February, which is the month of love, we'll leave you with this video of the week. This is titled Ndakuda by Oriano. Enjoy.
Good night.